So in this very quick video, I want to talk about the pitfalls of digital transformation. You know, most times online you would see a lot of stories about failed digital transformation projects, and I happen to have specialized on some of those projects while I was completing my doctorate degree. And so as I was conducting my research, I started really focusing on the reasons why digital transformation projects fail. So let's start by defining the terms. So I think this one doesn't work. So digital transformation digital transformation would be this massive undertaking, this massive decision that the company embarks on to improve its maturity. So digital transformation projects entail so many different things. So here you would have what you always see online about ERPs, CRM, electronic document management, cybersecurity, productivity. So you have a bunch of things that constitute digital transformation. You even have training here, digital talent, and all of that goes in the mix of what we consider to be digital transformation. Now, when companies decide to implement systems or change processes, when companies decide to embark on digital transformation, it's all fine. However, according to so many reports, a lot of these transformation projects fail. So upwards of 70%. Now, what does failure look like? Failures look like budget overrun, budget overruns. Failures look like scope creep. Failures look like, so you're going way beyond your budget, you've blown your scope, you're no longer on that critical path. A lot of different things have come into play. Failure looks like too much time. You spent 5 years implementing one system as opposed to the regular time it was supposed to take. And so all of these things get factored into how a project is considered a success or a failure. But now let's look at the reasons why these projects fail. So if we assume that 70% is our magic number, 70%, the question is why? Why do these projects fail? What is it that companies are doing that puts us at 70%? So there are three main buckets. The first bucket would be leadership. So bucket number one is leadership. Most projects fail because of something that has to do with leadership. The second bucket would be what we call operational capacity and organizational capability. Bucket number two, ops capacity and organizational capability. So there are two key words there, capacity and capability. The third bucket, and usually we don't think of it in these terms, but the third bucket, which is the smallest bucket, is technology. So those are the three broad categories that account for the failure of digital transformation projects. And if we drill down into each of those buckets, you have 10 pitfalls. The first pitfall would be a difference in perspective among the leadership about what does digital mean. So the first pitfall here would be difference in perspective. So if you go to boardrooms and discuss about digital to different leaders, everybody has their own definition of what digital means. And there already is a red flag, because if we're all seated at the table and we don't agree on the definition of what we're trying to achieve, then there's already a problem. So leaders usually differ. They have different interpretations and meanings when it comes to the word digital. The second pitfall number 2, is a lack of alignment amongst the leadership team about business goals. So pitfall number 2 is alignment. So typically, a lack of alignment would be in the form of infighting, power tussles. So maybe the CFO has a different vision of what digital transformation looks like from the CTO, or from the CEO, or the director of IT. Whoever is driving that initiative or has the visibility. And mind you, digital transformation projects are very visible projects. They cause a lot of change, such that the winners really win big and the losers really lose. And so it causes a lot of power struggle, and there could be a big case here of misalignment. People have different goals and different objectives. The third reason why digital transformation projects fail is the past. There's a huge focus on this is how we've always done it, but we did this last time and it worked. Why not continue doing it? Why change something that works? And so if you keep focusing on past performance, it obviously affects your disposition, how disposed you are to continue innovating, to continue moving forward. That's the third pitfall. The fourth pitfall would be nonchalance. So some leaders are not really 100% invested. And that reminds me of a quote. I don't know if it's actually from Amazon, but it's usually associated with Amazon. Disagree but commit. So you can be, not on board with, you can disagree with a certain decision, with a certain path, but you need to be committed to realizing the objectives of the organization. And so a lot of leaders are nonchalant about digital transformation, would not take it that seriously, would think it's just one IT project and let's focus on the day-to-day. That nonchalance usually permeates into the actual project and affects the outcome of the project. Politics and culture. This is a big one. So politics and culture, that's one big reason why digital transformation projects fail. Again, like I mentioned, these projects have a lot of visibility. The company moves a lot of resources to achieve certain goals under the banner of digital transformation. And because of that, there's bound to be fighting because those resources are limited. When you're taking salespeople away from sales calls to participate on a project, of course, the sales director would not be happy because she needs to get those numbers up. And so there's always this tussle between what we refer to as the innovation team versus the performance engine. So I borrowed that term from a book, The Other Side of Innovation, where it's described the performance engine is the current team, what transactions you currently have, versus the innovation team, which is the team that's trying to bring change. And so there's that tussle between both camps, and usually it causes a breakdown in how how successful your project is going to look like. Pitfall number 6, top-down change management approach. So top-down. So digital transformation projects generate a lot of change, and one way to engineer change or to spearhead change is to get buy-in. So a lot of leaders believe that because of authority, you can simply make an announcement, you can simply send an email, but it takes a lot of workshops, it takes a lot of town halls, it takes a lot of lobbying, it takes a lot of explaining and re-explaining and pleading in some cases. Well, not really pleading, but it takes a lot of work on your side, massaging the situation such that your employees and the stakeholders can actually understand your vision, can actually understand what change you're trying to drive. It's not up to the consultant, and I've worked on so many projects where the leadership team relies on the consultant, like me, to prep the ground and do the heavy lifting. It's the leadership team that needs to do the heavy lifting and make sure that change is actually something ongoing, not just a one-time event. And so a top-down change management approach where you just ram things through usually is a pitfall. It's a reason why those projects will not succeed. So those are 6 reasons on the leadership bucket. Now let's go to capacity and capability. That's pitfall number 7. Stuck in digital pilot projects. So let's imagine that the company actually does move forward with some of those digital projects. The problem is they get stuck in pilots. So they either have too many projects running here and there in the company, and those projects don't actually scale. They stay at the level of pilots, testing, and we just keep testing and piloting and testing and piloting to the point where the true value of the project gets washed away. So this reminds me of a recent project I was involved in where we had about 3 rounds of testing on an ERP project. And while I thought that we could have moved forward otherwise, but leadership usually has other objectives, other goals, and so we got pretty much stuck. The project got stuck when it comes to testing, stuck at the pilot phases. And so one of the reasons why you change is so that you can scale, so that everybody can use the solution across the board. And so if you get stuck in pilots, then you don't actually get to use the tools. You don't actually get to benefit from digital transformation. Pitfall number 8 would be employee disengagement, decreased productivity, and turnover. So if you're trying to change and you don't take care of your people, the change effort is going to fail. And so if everything else works well and the employees are disengaged because they don't understand, because they don't care, if their productivity is going down, which usually is the case because they're trying to learn a new piece of technology and they're not really good at it, they get demotivated and they don't have a lot of support. If they are also faced with a situation where there's a lot of turnover. I had a project where within 12 months, pretty much half of the company had been replaced either through firing or through willful withdrawal, through resignations. And it put a big strain on the project, the ERP project we were doing, because each time you move forward, there's always this backward pull because you have to train somebody and retrain a new person. There's knowledge being lost. And so you have to take care of your people. Pitfall number 9 is moving in too soon or too late. So pitfall number 9 is actually interesting because it has to do with timing. When is the best time to start a digital transformation project or endeavor? Starting too soon means you're not really ready. You need to do a readiness assessment. And starting too late means you're catching up And when you're catching up, you're losing resources. And so there is a sweet spot between too soon and too late. And it's for each organization to figure it out and try to, understand market dynamics and all of those things. But timing is one of the reasons why, sorry, there's a typo here. Timing is one of the reasons why digital transformation projects will fail. The last reason or pitfall would be poorly selected solutions So the poorly selected solution would be a poorly selected software or a partner. So most people don't take time to find the tools that are fit for their business. They try to go with tools which have been recommended to them by friends or acquaintances. Now, each tool is different and it might work for company A, but not for company B. The best way to go is, quite frankly, to spend some time documenting and understanding your business requirements before making a selection. Another point is your implementation partner might be the weak link in the chain. So not every implementation partner has the necessary capabilities, and so you need to spend some time trying to find the implementation partner that fits with your company culture and has the capacity to deliver. And so those are the 10 main reasons why digital transformation projects fail. They are all in 3 buckets. I would put more information in the links below. Please share this with leaders, business leaders, or those of you contemplating digital transformation. We have at LaCroix Institute courses that have to do with digital transformation for leadership. So if you have questions, you can follow me on LinkedIn and ask me questions, send me DMs. Let's communicate, let's build a community, and let's share knowledge. Thank you very much.